Hi. Oh, I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. This weather's making me a little bit sleepy.
That's funny. Well, it'll get hot again soon, so don't you worry.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead and start letting people in.
Sure, thank you.
Just make sure to spotlight you.
Hi, Janice.
Hi.
Hi, Megan. Hi, Nicole.
How are you?
Good. I've been working out all morning. Yay. Some days are just like that, just get up and go and go and go. I love it. Yeah. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you.
I wasn't quite sure if you'd have a recording this week. Will that be next week or?
No, I'm here next week. Oh no, next week will be Sierra Live.
Okay, because you're in Toronto.
Yeah, I'll be in the air.
And then the week after?
I'll be here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yay. It's all good. It's all good.
Let's see. Oops. We'll wait a few minutes since it's just Janice so far. And then maybe when we see just a couple more people come in, we'll get started.
Sounds good.
I was just doing my foot physio and icing.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
With your ice thing, that cool thing you have?
Yeah. I'm using it twice a day because I'm walking more, so there's more swelling.
Yeah.
I'll have that for like a year and a half probably.
Yeah. It's good though. It's a good tool.
It is. And it was paid for by my insurance, so yay. This is how I drain the water out of the air cast.
Oh, smart.
I know I couldn't face you without having done some workouts, right? I better mute myself.
Okay. Maybe it's just Lone Ranger Janice today.
Yeah, looks like it.
There might be people streaming on Facebook though.
Yeah,
so.
Perhaps.
Yeah. There usually is, or a lot of people watch it later. So it's up to you. We could wait one more minute and then maybe start the video.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay. Perfect. All right, whenever you're ready, Nicole.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
Sure.
ConnecTogether creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, ConnecTogether, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative, Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobby Seal-Kobiski, Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson, Friday rotating dance classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff, and other initiatives including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series.
Also coming up on July 22nd, we have an accessible community forum on accessible housing in British Columbia.
Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at Connectra Society.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Hello, my name is Megan. So far, we just have 2 regulars in the Zoom, but I'm sure there's tons of us on Facebook as the stats show us for later. So that's great. So today's workout is actually going to be posture and core focus. We're going to be starting out just a little bit different than we've been doing in the past. Same idea, but we're just going to do a little bit of different series of movements for core. I was going to just read the room, and reading the room today, I think it's a good day to try some of this stuff out. So today what we need is, I actually haven't decided yet if we're going to use bands or not. So have bands just in case, but I'm not gonna promise we're going to use them. I think it depends on how much we get through the planned activities. Okay, so band probably medium-ish, but once again, if you don't have a band, it's okay. And then we're going to use something light. So I am going to be asking for something weighted too. So make sure you have something light, preferably like a ball, or it can be like a stuffed animal. It can be, this yoga block isn't light, but like the non-cork ones are really light. It could be a water bottle, anything just really, really light. Okay. And then something a bit heavier. So I'm demonstrating with a weight, but it doesn't have to be a weight, but something weighted. A heavier soup can, or if you do have a dumbbell, great. A bigger water bottle, anything that you have. Okay. So probably around 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds, somewhere in there. Okay. And then our trusty dowel that I love to use. Same as always, longer than your shoulders. Okay. Should be easy to hold. We don't want to have our hands slipping. If you find that your hands slip, it's always good to use gloves. You can always wet your hands and do that if you have some grip stuff going on. Okay. And yeah, that's about it. So grab those things. Okay. And we're going to start off by warming up. Just some almost like a myofascial release. And we're actually going to start at our low back today. So I'm just going to face sideways so that we can kind of see where I'm targeting. So there's 2 ways to do this. I didn't say you needed a ball, but like I know Janice has a ball. So if you want to use a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, that's fine. I'm just going to demonstrate with the back of my hands. So knuckles work really well, just using the back of your knuckles. And I'm just basically going to be massaging my very low back right at my sacrum. So I'm not flat in the middle of it. I'm just on the sides, and I'll just face this way slightly. So I'm just using my knuckles here, and we're just going to do some small circles. Okay. Using the backs of your hands. Okay. Because even if you have a higher level injury, for anybody who is a quadriplegic, this is still pretty accessible because you can use the pressure of your wrist. Okay. So a few more seconds here, like 30 or so, but just kind of working in, going as low as you want, like comfortably can if we're sitting tall. And you can go up as high as what you would think of as your low back. Okay. Basically, we're not going to get too high because of shoulder mobility. So just kind of hang out there. And then I do invite you to start widening where you are on your back. So your sacrum is going to be quite wide because it's like attached to your pelvis, right? So go ahead and widen it a little bit. So we're not quite on like our hips, but we're just getting to the edges of what our back would be at our low back. Okay. Just tiny little circles, trying to get a little bit of movement here, decrease a bit of the adhesion. Okay, once again, if you have that ball, feel free to use the ball, probably palm down. Okay. And from there, awesome. From there, we're just going to go right up into the lats. So hand behind the head, we're going to just, instead of the slapping we typically do, I actually just want you to, if you can reach, I just want you to do a bit of like grabbing. So grabbing or seesawing, massaging. If you can't reach, I'll just use my phone as an example. You can always reach around with something, and you'll probably want to stick to the slapping activation. Okay, so a bit of an option today. Okay, it doesn't matter if you can't get this one going. I just wanted to give another option. Okay, so do what fits. About 30 seconds here. And you can work all the way down to the ribs and then all the way up. So basically till you can feel those last little floating ribs, and then you can work it all the way up almost to the armpit. Okay. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay. And now we're going to do the other side. So other hand goes up over the head. And you can do the same method that you did from the first side, if that works. Okay, working right in there. Trying to reach around. And remember, you can go all the way down to those floating ribs and then all the way up. Hopefully this isn't tickling some of us. If it's too ticklish, just stay out of that area. Go to where it's a bit more muscle focused. Okay, good. Awesome. And then from that, we're going to do cat-cows first. So we're going to tuck the chin because we've just warmed up the low back. So this is going to help us a bit more with that spinal extension and flexion. So we're going to tuck that chin nice and slow because we haven't done anything yet. And we're going to slowly roll down through the spine. Okay, we're going to be doing 6 of these today. So 1 more than normal. Okay, slowly deep breath in or out at the bottom. And then slowly rolling up, using your hands if you need to on your thighs. Okay, take your hands behind you. Okay, or just at your hips, whatever you can do here. But I want you to put weight into the hands so we can use them for leverage. So you're really pushing the hands into the surface, shoulder blades down and back, and we're lifting that part up to the ceiling. And today I really want you to focus on getting that low area. So the area that we were just kind of massaging, I want you to really think of tipping it forward. Okay, so a little bit of a different cue than I typically give you. Okay, and then good. And then we're going to repeat that again. So we tuck that chin and slowly roll down. Okay, no one should be looking at the monitor here. Some form of spinal flexion. Doesn't matter if you can't go as low, do your best. Okay, big inhale or exhale at the bottom. And then you're going to slowly roll up until you can't go anymore. Bring your hands back and now focus on that low back. So the opposite of the belly button, and we're tipping it forward to get that nice big start of a spinal extension. And take a deep breath here, and we're going to repeat that again. So we tuck the chin. This is 3. All the way down. Moving nice and slow. Okay, there's no race with this one. And take a deep breath and slowly rolling up. And hands go behind you on the surface. Remember, think of that tip. So think as if someone was pushing your low back forward. Get that arch going and eyes up to the surface. Expose your neck. Deep breath here. Okay, we're halfway. We're going to do 3 more, and tucking the chin, rounding in the spine. This might feel a little different than the normal cueing I give you, and that's okay. It's kind of what we're going for. It's a little bit different focus in the back. Okay, deep breath down at the bottom. Slowly rolling up. Same thing, hands on the surface somewhere behind you. Think of someone pushing your low back forward to get that arch. And shoulder blades are still going in your back pockets. And take a deep breath here. And we have 2 more, everybody. Tucking the chin, rounding in the spine. Okay, slowly moving down. Take a deep breath down there. Inhale or exhale to slowly come on up. And hands behind you or on the surface. Think of that tailbone or the back of your sacrum being pushed. And that leads the spinal extension. And deep breath here. Okay, this is your last one. Here we go. Tucking that chin nice and smooth. All the way down. Take a deep breath. And slowly rolling up. And this is our last one. Think of that pelvis being pushed. So someone's just gently pushing the low back forward, right on that sacrum. And big extension here, and take a deep breath. And then we come to center. Nice. Okay, now we're going to do a rotation. So we're going to rotate. You can use your hands on something to leverage. I'm showing with my leg. It could be on a arm rest. And we're going to be here looking over your shoulder and putting us on a timer here. 30 seconds. Okay, so to get the whole spinal twist, we need to really look over that shoulder as best as you can. Keep that breath going. And bring it around. Excellent. And then we do the same thing with the other side. If you're rotating and your feet are on the floor, make sure we're not moving. So the feet should stay flat. The knees should stay in alignment. We don't want to have any caving in or pushing out more as we rotate. So we're really rotating from the belly button height. Okay, and we're on the clock. You shouldn't feel any movement in those hips. Breathing. Three, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, coming back to neutral. So this one here, I'm going to lower the camera just a little bit. So we're going to do something called hip heights. Okay, so we're going to sit nice and tall, feet flat on the floor, preferably on something that's not too squishy. So if you have a choice, preferably a chair, okay, as opposed to like the edge of a bed or something. Okay, and I want us to think of where our hips are. So if you just put your hands on your pelvis or on your hips, so not the waist, right, but on your hips, we want to think like there's going to be a string on each side. So there's a string here and there's a string here, as if I was pulling them up. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to think of touching one string, and we're going to touch it and bring it in to the rib cage. So we're going to think of collapsing, and we're touching the hip to the rib. Okay, so it's like you're hiking that hip. So we're just going to do one side. So we're hiking. See how I'm collapsing in that side body? So the hip is coming up, that string is getting pulled, and the rib is getting sunk down. So we're sinking and then coming up. Okay, keep working on the same side for now. And coming up. If you are somebody with sensation in your legs or your feet, and you're able to have that connection with the floor, I would think of pushing through the floor with that hip that you're hiking. So push through the floor and then come on up. Okay, so we're like collapsing on the side that we're working in, Come on up. Okay, do a couple more. For some of us, this is going to feel super foreign, and it might take a few practice runs to start to feel this. Some of us, our body wants to do it, but we might just have a lot of locked up. Especially if you feel that you sit a lot during the day, you're going to have a lot of it's going to feel pretty locked up in that low back. So that's why we did that release work to try and help. So these are good to pair together. Okay, this will be the last one. And then we'll come and try the other side. Okay, so other side now. So you're going to think of that string being at that hip going up. Think of the ribs. They're going to collapse as you hike the hip up and then come back to center. So this space in here, it's going to decrease as we hike the hip up. Okay, and hike. And the feet should stay flat if you can. Hike. So you're better to think of pushing the foot into the floor than lifting the foot. Okay. Good, everybody. Just try at your own pace. I'm going nice and slow just for some of us that need that visual, just to kind of see that visual cue. And we're just collapsing directly to the side. So you can always still see my shoulders. I'm not rotating at all, right? We're still just nice and square. Okay, and we'll just do a few more. And last two here. Good and awesome, nice, good. Okay, and here we go. So now that we've warmed the low back, here we go. We're going to reach up and over. Go ahead and have your hand at the side. We're going to take the hand up and over so it's reaching the other side. I'll just move this so we can all see. So not up to the ceiling, but up and over. 3, 2, 1. Have support with your arms on something, even if it's your hand on your armrest. And then other side. Up and over. Nice big side body stretch. Ooh, you might get a couple Rice Krispies coming out of the spine there, and that's okay. It means we made a little bit of change. It's good. Things are moving. Some of you might find that this feels really good, and that warm up really has actually helped you a little bit. Some of those hip hikes can actually help with the nerves. So we have a bunch of nerves bundled at the end of our spine there, and this can actually help with some of the sensation. So really definitely a good one to incorporate if you are able to. Over. Good. Reaching up and over. Try and not have the hand dangling. If you can help it, keep it right up as best as we can. A couple more here, everybody. And again, reach. Awesome. From there, we're going to do some nice big half circles. So with the nose, half circle, stay as tall as you can. So here it's just the neck. We're not moving the spine at all, the low spine. Just that neck is rotating. Think of painting a half circle with your nose in space. And over. Nice, everybody. Keep going. Last two as a group. And awesome. And now we're going to take those hands. We're going to do big up. Try and touch the ceiling and then come on down. Palms are going down. Tap. Or if you're not on a couch like me, take the hands back slightly. Okay. So up, take them up overhead as high as you can. And then take the hands and let them go back behind you slightly. And coming up, my fingers are facing forward. So my palms are facing forward here. And then the palms are going back. Arms up. Eyes are still looking at the monitor. We're not looking up at the hands. And sweep. Okay, last three. Come on up. And sweep. Nice. And again. And sweep. And last time. And sweep. Good. Okay. Go ahead and grab your dowel. So we are going to do rotations. So we're here. We're going to rotate. The dowel is at your belly button. rotate. We're going to add a little bit of a punch just to try and get that rotation a little bit more. And then other side. So this kind of acts as a bit of an upper spine warm up too. And you're going to rotate for 20. So starting whenever you're ready. Try and really stretch that opening elbow. If you can, stretch it all the way. Okay, if this is something where you need to have some support behind your spine to stop you from tipping forward a bit, that's fine. Okay, hands as wide as your shoulders at least, and if not, a little bit wider is good. Nice, and 3, 2, 1. Awesome, take the hands up, one more around the world here, boom, and down just to tap your thighs. And good. Okay, if your shoulders feel great and you want to challenge the mobility a little bit, go ahead and narrow your hands. So just bring them a little bit closer to your ears. Keeping the abdominals drawing in. So think of your ribs staying right over your hips. No ribs popping forward. 2 more. And relax. Good. Awesome. Okay. Grab a sip of water and we're going to get into a hinge practice, which is a little bit different than the warm-ups we were doing before, because now we actually want to keep our low back neutral. So before, when we were doing cat-cow, where I actually wanted everybody to get nice flexion and extension, now we want to keep the spine nice and still. And what that's going to do is trigger a lot of your core musculature to work. So either abdominals in the front, our deep transverse, and our erectors in the back. So basically, regardless of the version you're doing, if you saw me like this, I have the dowel right along my back. You don't have to try this. You can always just watch. When I do a hinge, I don't know if you can see that. Might not be facing sideways enough. There we go. So as I do a hinge, the dowel is staying at all the places on my back. So it's still touching my head, still touching at the back ribs, and still touching at my low back. And then we come up. So I'm moving all as like one plank, and I'm hinging from the hips here. What we don't want to have happen is a rounding like we did in warm up. Okay, so that's just a visual. Option 1 is for people that aren't really able to hinge forward without a little bit of stability from maybe their hands or their elbows. This is for you. So you're going to have your feet flat on your foot plates or the floor, and you're going to either slide your hands or you're going to slightly walk forward with your hands, keeping that nice long spine, just like the dowel was on your back. And then you're going to either push off gently with your hands or walk your hands back and get that hinge practice. Okay, that's version 1. If that feels pretty easy to you and you know that you can maybe reach forward and grab something on the floor without needing your hand here, then you're going to want to try version 2, which means we're going to hold a dowel, pull it in at your chest, feet are flat, and it's like you're going to bow to someone across the room. So it's the same movement as version 1. You're just not using your hands, and instead you're pulling the dowel into your chest. And then we come up. Okay, so we're here. And that's version 2, okay? Version 3 would be having the hands above your head and keeping them here in the seated position as we hinge and we come back up. Okay, so version 3. I'm going to demonstrate at version 2 because I think that's where most of us will be. And here we go. 3, we're going to do 10, 2, and 1. Pulling that dowel in. Having heavy feet, so really push those feet into the floor and come on up. Nice. And again. And come on up. And again. Okay, eyes are just going along for the ride. and 7. And this is 8. Nice, everybody. 2 more. And 10. Good. And awesome. Excellent. Okay. Keep your dowel. We're going to do these rotation punches and around the worlds one more time right away. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Rotate. We get a break after this. Don't worry. And 2. So all this movement that we're doing should all be coming from the trunk. So I want you to think of everything we do, whether it's a hinge or this rotation, you're leading from the belly button. So think of the body having to move first, okay, as opposed to like your arms moving first. We can do core exercises and just move through them. And if we're not focusing on what needs to happen, we're not going to get the core working really. So we can get a lot more out of our exercises if we can visualize and get that connection going, mind, body. Okay. Nice, everybody. 4. Keep those shoulders away from those ears. And this will be our last round of our around the worlds. If you need to, like I said, challenge yourself, bring your hands a little bit more narrow. Go ahead and lift over the head. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And we want to think of reaching to the ceiling. 3, nice, everybody. And 5, 6, almost there. 2 more, and then you get a mini break before we go into a new series. And last one. And excellent, good. Okay, dowel aside, grab a little sip of water, and we're gonna start with your weighted object, whatever that is. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with are wood chops. Okay, so wood chops, today we're going to think of the seashell. So we're going to have the seashell right at the ear. So remember those conch shells that you can find at the beach, and you listen to them and you can hear the ocean. So they say, mermaids tell that tale. So here, and then you're going to exhale and you're going to chop the weight down to your opposite hip. Okay, up and chop. Okay, so notice how I am not collapsing down as I do it, right? So the goal with this is to stay tall. You can rotate, but we're not collapsing. Okay, so we're going to do 12 on one side, and then we're going to switch and do 12 on the other. Okay, here we go. Start on any side you'd like, starting up at the ear. 3, 2, and 1. And I didn't say this, but your hips have no wiggle parties happening, and your feet are staying stationary, whether it's on the floor or the foot plates of your chair. Tempo's up to you. Two more. And awesome. Okay, reset. Other side. Getting yourself ready. 3, 2, and 1. And good. Try and take it not touching your ear, just right out from your ear. And 4. And 10, 2 more, here we go. And 12. Awesome. Okay, so if you're somebody where that felt pretty good, the overhead, and you want to challenge yourself a bit more, all you're going to do is just lift it a little higher. So instead of listening to the seashell, you can just lift it slightly higher, and that's going to give you a little bit more challenge for your trunk and your balance, okay? All right. From there, I want you to grab the light object, so the object that weighs nothing. We're going to be doing something called a rainbow, okay? And we're going to do a pass, okay? So when we do this, there's going to be 2 versions of this, because I know some of us might not be able to pass something underneath their legs. So if you're able to, go ahead and hold the object with one hand. This is why it needs to be light. Okay, you're going to tip forward, so that hinge we just did, pass it underneath, and then you're going to catch it up top. So if I raise this, when I just did that, my hands are doing this and I'm grabbing it. And then I'm reversing it the other way. So now I'm going down, pass it under my legs with a hinge, and then I'm grabbing it. So we're going back and forth. One, and then back the way it came. So that alone is a bit of a brain teaser. Okay, if we can't pass stuff underneath us, what I want you to do is just go up, and you're just going to tap it down at your side and just pass only on the top. Okay. So for that, I don't want you to hinge. Okay. So hinging is only going to happen if we can do the pass. Otherwise, I want to see this without any wobbly in the trunk as best as we can, because having our hands up here is pretty challenging. Okay. This one, we're actually going to go on a timer. So not to race you, it's definitely not a race. This is just more so that we can all take the same amount of time to do this, okay? So we're going to be here for a minute. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. So if we're passing underneath, we're hinging, and we're tapping up top. It comes back the way it came, and we're tapping it up top. If you're not hinging and you're just tapping the side, that's fine. Okay, make sure we're never looking at the ball, regardless of your choice. You always just want to keep your eyes forward or slightly down. Okay. And try and get that ball right overhead if you can. Nice, everybody. You've got 20 seconds left. We're doing great. Keep that pattern going. Okay, last 8 seconds here. Breathing. Nice, and slowly, and you are done. Good. So for those of us that are hinging, the reason why I don't want us to race is because I'd rather us really feel that nice hinge. I find when we start to race through things, we start to forget and we start to get this bend. Okay, so another thing to think about when we're doing that is to think of almost like you're going to bow to someone. So we're never collapsing in the front body, right? We're always staying nice and tall, hinging as if you're going to show off like a big jeweled necklace. Come up. We can't show it off if we're collapsing here. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with these two. So we're going to go back to the wood chop, and then we're going to come back to these rainbows. If anyone has any questions or comments, now's the time. Wood chops are 12 on each side. Okay, if you were using weight and you liked that weight and you want to stick with it, great. You can always change your weight. Some of us might even want to use a non-weighted object if we feel that that's necessary. Okay, work to your abilities, work to what you're feeling today. Here we go. I'm going to start the opposite side. 3, 2, and 1. And exhale on the chop. And 8. Nice, everybody. One more. And 12. Okay, take a little rest. Other side, reset. Here we go. 3, 2, listen to that seashell, and 3, 4. Get solid in those hips, solid in the feet. 6, throwing action, but nice and controlled. And last one. Good. Okay, set that weighted object aside. Grab your light object, rainbows. So reminder, version 1 is a hinge passing underneath the legs, tapping it at the top, and then it goes back the way it came. Otherwise, you're staying tall, passing at the top, bringing it down. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, and oh, sorry, I didn't get the timer. Here we go. 3, 2, now we're on a timer, and boom. Okay, hinging like you're bowing. Remember that nice, big, beautiful jeweled necklace? Showing it off across the room. Working that trunk, hinging only as far as you need to pass the object. Okay, if we're passing at the top, try and get your elbows as straight as you can. And we're over halfway already. Hang in there, everybody. Oops, there goes my ball. I'll just keep pretending. Pretend like I have a ball in my hands. And good, keep going, everybody. 10 seconds. This is your last time with this exercise. 5, 3, eyes forward and relax. Beautiful. Take a little break while I get my runaway ball. And we're going to move on. Okay, so we're going to go back to the weighted object. Okay. All right, so we're going to do something called press and push. Okay, so anytime we bring our hands away from our body, right? So anytime we're having to reach out to the side, we're going to be having to utilize some of our trunk muscles. Otherwise, we're going to be tipping forward or hinging forward or falling to the side, etc. Okay, so depending on how much trunk function you have, the speed of this might be different. Okay, so in slow-mo, we're going to be holding the weight out, bring it in, overhead, bring it in. That's slow-mo. Okay, so if you're able to do that and you want to challenge yourself, we can do that. Okay, if we need to be a bit quicker, we might want to be a bit quicker. So why we would do that is if we hold out too long, we're going to fall forward. Okay, so I don't want us falling forward. Option 2 is to take away the weight and use the light object again. So maybe you want to slow it down a bit, but the weight causes you to fall forward. Use a lighter object, and then you can slow down the movement just a little bit. Okay. This is going to be for 45 seconds. We're not going to do the full minute. Okay. Here we go. We're all clear. Grab your object, whatever it is that you're using. 3, 2, and 1. So we press. I'll show slow motion today. My gosh, that's a tongue twister. And good. Keep going. Okay, if you wanted to up your weight, so I know like Janice, if the weight feels light and you want to up your weight a little bit to challenge a bit more of your trunk, feel free. Keep the pace slow. No pressure, just putting ideas out there. Okay, chest nice and lifted, everybody. We have 5 seconds. And this will be your last press and relax. Awesome. Good. Okay, go ahead and grab your dowel. Set that aside. We're going to do some awesome kayaks for time. This is where I want us to pick the pace up a little bit. Okay, so here we're going to be rotating, lots of rotation today. And we're going to rotate and rotate just like you're kayaking. I've said this before. I don't want you to keep it shallow like I'm showing. I'm on a couch. So make sure you're driving down as if you're driving into the water. Okay, so 1, 2, driving down, driving down. Okay, this is for 1 minute. Hand width is whatever's comfortable for this one. Okay, no wiggle parties in the hips. If you find that you wiggle a lot, feel free to place something in between your knees and hold it. Okay, that's a little trick. Here we go. 3, 2, and go. 1 minute as a group. Keep that breath going. Okay, think of your neck staying nice and long. So we don't want to have the shoulders start to do all the work, those traps, right? So keep shoulders away from the ears, neck nice and long. Think of what's happening. Breathing. We're already halfway, everybody. Nice. Keep moving. You got about 15 seconds left, and then you get a water break. If your heart rate's coming up a little bit, that's great. Keep moving. Maybe your trunk's getting a bit tired. It would make sense at this point. 3, 2, and time. Beautiful. Okay, take a 30-second break, and then we're doing those again. So our push press, and then we have our kayaks. If you need to lower your push press weight, go for it. If you need to raise it and you have something to do that with, go for it. Still have about 15 seconds. Okay, any questions, comments? We're doing okay, everybody? Awesome. Okay, here we go. So 45 seconds for this one. I'm going to say it again. Really watch when we go overhead that we're not taking our eyes up. Okay, it feels like it's going to help us. It's not, I promise. Okay, so try and keep your focus straight forward or even slightly down. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Push, press. Nice and tall. 45. Think if you can, that belly button drawing into the spine, ribs right over the hips. And we're breathing. Last 10 seconds, everybody. 3, 2, and time. Awesome. Set that aside. All right. 1 minute with your kayaks. Let's see it. I saw really good pace going on round 1. So let's see this again. Here we go. 3, 2, and go. And just like you're moving through that beautiful Vancouver water. That's it. Feet are not moving, hips are not moving. Driving deep into that water, smooth with your movements. You are halfway. Think of there actually being like a tension. So there's actually water you're working against. You are almost there. Last 15. Three, 2, and time. Awesome. Good. Okay, everybody. We are going to do our push press one last time today for 45 seconds. And then we're going to end with just a little bit of a neck stretch for all that overhead work we did. Okay. All right. So not long of a break because this is our last one. Getting ready. Weighted object. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Nice and slow if you can. Otherwise, the speed you need to do. Everybody, though, should be getting to full elbow extension at the top. So I should see this, right? Nice, everybody. Eyes are forward or slightly down. Last 15. 5. And relax. Beautiful. Okay, set that weight aside. Upper trap stretch. So you're going to take your chin, pretend like there's something right up here, make a sexy double chin to grab it. And you're gonna hold. Hands at your sides if you can. And we should be feeling this all up the back of the neck. Okay, so trick is to make sure you're not hanging your head. We're actually making that double chin. Okay, and breathe. Slowly come on up. Beautiful. 5 shoulder rolls forward, 5 shoulder rolls back. Here we go. Just the shoulders coming up 1, which means the arms are hanging. Just nice and big. We did a lot of shoulder work. It comes with core work. And 3 and 4. And now we reverse it just for 5. Nice and big. 1. Good. 2. Your back should feel nice and loose today, or looser than it was when you came in. And 4 and 5. Good. Give your neck a little shake. Awesome. Okay, everybody. So lots of core today. I hope that you enjoyed that. I look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks. Coach Sierra will be teaching next Thursday. And then I'll see you the following week. So I saw what she has planned for next week and it looks good. So I hope you all have fun. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll stay on for just a quick minute today. And yeah, thank you so much for coming, as always. Great seeing everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, Marn.
Janice looked kind of funny. Looked like you were floating sometimes.
I'm always floating somewhere. That was great. And I challenged myself to go from the 3 to the 5 pound for the.
Good. Awesome.
So thanks for that, Megan. You
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah. Good workout. Really good
Perfect.
workout. Have fun in Toronto.
Thank you. Awesome.
There.
All right. Well, if no one has questions, I will see everyone later. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thanks, Nicole.